Coming off an epic comeback victory, can the number one team in the land avoid the letdown and a loss Saturday at Commonwealth Stadium? Hey, how are you, folks? Jason Horowitz. Glad to be with you on the SEC Game of the Week preview presented by Geico. Top-ranked LSU travels to number 17 Kentucky Saturday, kicking it off at 3:30 p.m. Eastern on CBS. And for more, we bring in Spencer Tillman from Houston as we do, the man who will break it all down on the TIAA CREF College Football today. And Spence, I know this is a different Kentucky team than years past, but last year this team led by Andre Woodson was shut out at LSU. Last week, he faced pressure for the first time and made some mistakes. Convince me that what we saw last week against South Carolina won't happen against LSU.
Well, that's a losing proposition because LSU's defense is better than South Carolina's defense. I know that they would take exception to that at South Carolina. Tyrone Nix has done a tremendous job with that unit. But I think that LSU will be able to get pressure on the quarterback and cause some problems. And so that's really the challenge for Andre Woodson, the quarterback for Kentucky. If he can limit his mistakes, then they may have a shot. Problem is the guy that kind of gave him the little latitude and balance, Raphael Little's dinged up. And so he may or may not play. We don't know as yet. And it could really be a feast for that front row of LSU if Raphael Little does not play.
You talked about how good this LSU defense is. Number one in total D, number two in scoring defense, three in pass defense. I mean, it's just unbelievable what they do. And everyone knows about Glenn Dorsey, Ali Highsmith, just as good. And maybe he should be talked about for the Heisman if you're going to talk about Glenn Dorsey. But on the other hand, Kentucky's defense, we know they're not very good. They couldn't get off the field when they needed to against South Carolina. If you're Rich Brooks, the coach of the Wildcats this week, what do you focus on when dealing with your defense?
Well, you got to be concerned, and I'm not so sure that he can do anything about Johnny Williams, his inside linebacker. He's got a bad case of plantar fasciitis, and that's very difficult. And if you're going to have to stop a Hester who's 230 pounds, you better be able to have your feet underneath you and be able to drive through. That's going to be an issue for him. I don't even know if he's going to play. And we don't know, certainly he won't be 100% at that position, a critical position. So, yeah, Rich has got some major concerns because his team on both sides of the ball didn't execute. But here's one caution, one warning here. How often will you see a team be the benefactor of 4 turnovers and 2 touchdowns returned, fumbles returned for a touchdown? I'm talking about South Carolina, what they were able to do to Kentucky. I don't see that happening again in this game. So I really believe this game is problematic for LSU and that they're facing a team that can score. LSU cannot afford to play from behind in this contest, in my opinion, despite the fact that Kentucky's defense is not very good, Jason.
So let me ask you this then. So you're saying LSU can't afford to play from behind. How do they make sure that they get out in front of it? Is it all about the running backs in this game?
Well, it's about Hester. He's their guy. I mean, he's the one that's going to control it. It's about methodically working your way down the field. Early Doucette doesn't look like he's going to be a factor in this contest. Your quarterback, Matt Flynn, has got some problems with his push-off leg. He's still got the high ankle sprain. We saw a couple of balls fly on him the other night. Saw a couple of receivers drop some things. So Les Miles, whom I have a tremendous amount of respect for, probably going to lean toward the conservative style of play. And if he does that, the points are going to come, but they're going to come more methodically and protracted over the course of the game. So my point is, if you have that methodical approach, you're controlling the clock, that's all fine and well. But don't get behind and try to have that game plan be a part of what you're trying to do because it's going to take a long time to recover if you all of a sudden are down 14-0.
Spence, Kentucky lifetime is 2-8 against number one teams. Yeah. The last win came in 1964 against Ole Miss. Archie Manning wasn't even there yet. Can they knock off LSU?
Well, they can, but they won't. LSU should win this contest and stay on track to win the national title. I'm looking at a 9-point win. By the way, if they'd got the 2 field goals, they would have got the 9-point decision I called last week. LSU will win this one.
All right, I agree. I think LSU will win, although I think a lot of people around the country, especially with all the 1 losses that there are rooting for Kentucky to knock off the Tigers. Spence, we will see you on TIAA CREF College Football today, Saturday at 3 o'clock.
All right, you're the best, my man. We'll see you.
Folks, the 2 kick it off 3:30 p.m. Eastern on CBS. And, of course, Spencer, Tim Brando before the game at 3 p.m. Eastern. For more on this game or any other, be sure to stay with CBSSports.com and watch everything else on the CBS Audience Network. For my partner, Spencer Tillman, I'm Jason Horowitz. Take care.